actively practicing Islam, Orthodox Islam. Yet, what resonated with me the most is when I was handing them lessons. And, a lot of the individuals that have been handing them lessons, again, with education comes miseducation. The miseducation is deeply rooted. A lot of people running around here, a lot of us running around here talking about sugar is bad. Yet we eat fruit. Now see, to know the difference between sugar, natural sugar, and unnatural sugar, that shit that they call sugar, or you call sugar, it ain't sugar. It's the brand that's sugar. And they'll tell you right now, if you really go and look at the bag, it's in bold, capitalized letter, which is a corporation, which means that is a brand. So they call it sugar. It ain't really sugar. They call it sugar crystals as well. You need to read the fine print. You need to see what's there that you ain't seeing. And that's what I'm doing. I'm looking to show you what it is that you're looking at ain't really what you're looking at. The natural sugars that's provided for you in the fruits, yes, if you eat too much of it, just as we know about anything, if you do too much of anything, it ain't good for you. So let me misspell or dispel the misconceptions on what's being had from what you've been taught or how you've been taught to think. Because you ain't been taught to think properly. And you need to redirect your thinking. Or should I say we do. And like I said, I'm looking to help you do just that. Like I said, if I make mistakes in my speech or it seems as though I have a speech impediment, I've been diagnosed to have so many different things. Yet I don't go with that shit because I know a lot different than to go off another motherfucker's assumption about me. Now, they say some people might be able to see the things that you don't see about yourself, and to an extent, that rings true. Yet, you should be able to know everything about yourself, like the fact of why you go call Earl when your ass be drinking, or why it is that certain foods affect you differently. Like, if you ever been on a fast, whatever type of fast that you feel, I'm quite sure that you feel quite empowered by the fact that you have been able to fast from that food. And the reason why we call it break fast is because you breaking your fast, so you breaking or you fasting whether you know it or not. That's why it's called breakfast, break fast. Because when you wake up in the morning and your ass ain't ate for them hours that you slept, you breaking fast off the first meal that you ate for the day. Now, some of us go a little farther. Some of us do it for 30 days. Some of us participate in what they call the Sabbath. Now, depending upon how you do your research and what you run across in your research, you might find some conflict in that. You might find that some of the things that you came to understand or where it is that you stand in your understanding at this moment, you got that from running with what it was that you've been taught to understand. So like I said before, man, I'm looking to bring your understanding to an overstanding so that we can keep on growing. If you want to dismiss what I'm saying because I understand myself to be a guy body or 5%er, rather, and some of the 5%ers that might see this or peep this might feel some type of way. Yet, I can't knock you because I ain't your guy. And if you understand yourself and your place and your being on this physical plantation or in this physical realm of being, then you understand you and our verse, which means you and our verse or universe, however you look to see it, how you've been taught to say it. You and our verse, meaning that you and I converse to come to a greater understanding, and that's the greatest part of God, which we know is Allah, arm, leg, arm, supreme head. I'm just a small portion of the overall body. Now, I do understand that there's a higher power, and the higher power is when we come together to see things alike and not just indifference, because we have a lot of little petty indifferences that could really be mended. Like if you going through something with your mama or you feel some type of way about your daddy, bitch, you might really want to give them a hug, because you should appreciate the fact that they told you they don't want you to be like them, they want you to be better than them. And that's really what you're trying to do, but you ain't been able to identify with that yet. There go that word again, but. Again, I'm flawed. I don't like to say but, because the only thing that really come after that is shit and fart. Anyhow, listen to this, hell. I ain't gonna make this too long. It's starting to get a little too long, and to put this where it's going, it take a lot longer than it take for me to even put this on and bring this to your attention. So again, if you feel some type of way about what I just said, no one understand that our understanding is different due to the fact that you running with what it is that you've been taught so far. And like I said, I challenge you to dispel or, show me some facts to go against what it is that I'm saying, man, because I ain't the one to go for that goofiness, and I ain't the one to run with everything that I've been told. I call them gophers, and that means that you'll go for anything. So like I say, man, you're going to pay a lot for this muffler. Unfortunately, again, don't believe everything that you've been told. Because why I say that is kind of inhuman that it is to show you how the things provided for you in humor, or the things that you might not have understood, these things is being provided for you. So you can take it how you will, you can leave it if you will. Yeah, man, I ain't trying to ride for you. You should be wanting to ride with me. And I ain't gonna die for you, but I'm willing to die for you. I'd rather ride for you and not have to die, because when they talk about anti, you think about that word. That means to be, or to be missing something, or to be indifferent to something, or to be, like I said, to be missing something. So one of the things that's been said is they're coming to somebody. Well, if someone gave their life for you, why can't they live their life for you? Think about it like that. Think about the things that's being said and why they being said. And I don't consider myself to be nothing other than your brother. And you might not see me as your brother because I wasn't brought into this world by your mother. But your mother was brought into this world by the first two people that we understand to be Adam and Eve. So if you can trace yourself back that far, then you might be able to understand what it is that I'm saying. And some of y'all looking to do that. Y'all just don't know how to. You know what I'm saying? So when I say that I'm God body, I'm 5% of meaning that I'm a small portion of the planet, of the overall population of the planet Earth, that really go out their way to seek out the truth and bring it to you. Now you got some 10%ers, and they bloodsuckers with the pole. They know and they ain't gonna teach. And a lot of y'all is that in y'all education, because y'all be like, man, fuck that. I got it, they can get it. But you ain't teaching them how. So how the fuck is they gonna get it? And then you forgetting where you came from, because you feel like you elevated yourself to a mind state where you above some petty shit, and you might be, but it's petty to feel like you the only one that deserve that. So stop being selfish and stop taking this personal, because if you're taking it personal, what I'm saying, then you probably should, because I take you personal enough to get this information to you, whether you fucks with me or not. Because I mess with you probably a little more than you mess with yourself. And I care for you probably a little more than you care for yourself. Because in doing this, I'm putting myself at risk, highly. Now, you can take it as I'm trying to, you can take it for whatever you want. Like I said, you entitled to your perception. Yet don't fall into the deception. And like I said before, D means to de-appreciate. It means to destruct. You know what I'm saying? When we should construct. And re means to do something over or get back to something. So when I say I'm not religious, I had to rethink that. Religion means to do something over. Legion, or, it ain't in the Bible, but the word before that, my fault, it don't fall under the word religion. Yet legion is an army or a cavalry of people who come together for one common cause. Get your behind down. I keep telling you. I got you in a moment. Now, the word before legion in the dictionary, the collegiate or whatever, is legible. So it means for those who are legible. And in the Bible and the Quran, which are two of the schools of thought that I've been fortunate enough to run across, and I done been introduced, or I've been approached with some other stuff. And I ain't shot it down because I ain't afraid I don't have to embrace it fully. Yet I would love to understand where the hell it is that you coming from. Because I ain't the one to be like, oh man, you don't fuck with me, fuck you. I'm like, damn, well, why you don't mess with me? Because I'm the dude that'll do anything for you. So if you don't mess with me, that's not my loss. Even though it is, because it might not have nothing to do with me and it might not make me a better person, but it also teach me a lesson. It teach me that I'm doing something wrong, and that's how I look at it. Whatever it is that I might be doing wrong, I got to figure that out, because that's me taking it personal. So you can look at it as derogatory or whatever. But that's just how much I care for myself, enough to see myself outside of myself. And if I find myself by myself, maybe that's the way I was supposed to be. Because sometimes you got to be by yourself in order to understand why you're standing alone. Hey, I don't mind that though, because even if I'm alone in this, that's just how it's gonna be. That's just how it is. A lot of us are unable to step outside of our comfort zone, and I ain't comfortable with just going for anything, being told anything, or allowing myself to fall for anything. Because if you don't stand for nothing, then you liable. No, ain't no liable. You might as well lay your ass on some train tracks and tie yourself to them and wait for the train to come. Because you just falling for anything. And you'll lay down for anything. You know, lesson adjourned, man, for this moment. Like, I'll be back. I got a whole slew of stuff to give to you. If you patient enough to pay attention and ride with me, then we can. Ain't nothing that can stop us, because this was the what they call Babel. In that Bible that we was talking to or referring to earlier, you know, it was said that anything that they set their mind to, they could surely accomplish. So the only way to stop them from doing what they was doing was to confuse them through the language. And when you talk about the English language, that's why they call it Ebonics, what we talk in the neighborhoods, or the hoods that they call. Shout out to my neighborhood anyway. For those of y'all that don't remember me, I'm from the Strickland Bridge area, which is located in Fed 9, what they call it now. The home of one of your entertainers, man, but he dropping some jewels on your ass. His name J. Cole. So if you do the research, you know where I'm from. And the niggas that know where I'm from, or the ones that know me, they know what I rep and where I'm at in my heart. Just because I ain't there, it don't mean that I ain't there. Understand that. Know that. And because I ain't been there in a while, when I show up and show my face, you can feel some type of way when you see me, but you should embrace me, because know that I love you. Anyhow, that's what they call it, a plug. Yeah. Raise up. Anyhow, like I was saying, it was through the confusion of the language. The English language is derived from Latin, Greek, and Roman. So when you get that, and you understand that, you don't truly understand the language that you're speaking, because what's common sense is basically commonplace and common ground. And that's what it takes for people to grow. So look at it like this. When I tell you something, and you take it how you take it, go to that dictionary and see that there's 3 or 4 ways to define it, and 3 or 4 ways to appreciate that word. So common might not be common, and what you're hearing, you might not be hearing. So know that. Peace. Hell, I can't even get off this.